Hi everyone, I'm Dana Shibley with Verifyle. Here are 10 tips in 10 minutes for Verifyle users. If you're not familiar at all with Verifyle, then we suggest that you first go to YouTube, type in Verifyle Overview, and watch either the quick 8-minute overview video of Verifyle or the detailed 59-minute video. All of you as AAATP members should know that you have access to the premium version of Verifyle, which is Verifyle Pro, at no charge to you or anyone at all with whom you'd like to share information. Tip number 1, raise your situational awareness by using timing indicators. Here you can see that I'm working inside of the tax planning workspace thread, which is part of the workspace called Client Christine Carson. In the tax planning workspace thread, I'm communicating with Sammy Spouse and Christine Carson. If I click on Sammy Spouse's name, I can see that he has not yet viewed the content inside of this workspace thread. If I click on Christine Carson's name, I can see that she last viewed this content on Tuesday, February 4th at 7:37 a.m. Similarly, I can go to the Documents column, hover over any particular document, click on the gear symbol, and then click on View History, and I can see that Sammy Spouse has not yet viewed this particular document, 1099 div, whereas Christine Carson has looked at it 5 times. And if I click here, I can see the exact dates and times that Christine Carson has looked at this particular document, giving me a sense perhaps for the intensity level of her interest in this particular document, or at least a sense for how fresh this information might be in her mind. Tip number 2, when to use private messages versus workspace threads. I can click on the Contacts tab inside of Verifyle, which allows me to see all of my contacts that I brought into Verifyle. I can click on any one of those contacts in order to open up a private messages area between me and that other individual. As you can see, I've done here with Christine Carson. Private messages are a very simple, secure means to have a one-to-one communication with anybody. And one of the nice things about private messages is that not only are they accessible from the contacts area inside of Verifyle, they're also accessible from inside of workspaces. Watch this. I click on workspaces, and I'm now clicking on the workspace called Client Christine Carson. Inside of this workspace, you can see that there's a workspace thread called Tax Planning. And in this workspace thread called Tax Planning, I'm communicating with Christine Carson and Sammy Spouse. Because I'm communicating with Christine Carson inside of this workspace thread, Tax Planning, the Verifyle system has automatically added Christine's name into the guests list in this workspace, so that at any time I would like, I can click on Christine Carson's name here, and there again is the private messages communication interface between me and Christine Carson that I started over in the contacts area, okay? But the reason I started working inside of this workspace, Client Christine Carson, in the first place, was so that I could take advantage of the capabilities of working inside of a workspace thread. For example, in the workspace thread here, estate planning, as you can see, I'm actually communicating with 3 different people, and I could add even more people to communicate with beyond just a simple one-to-one communication. I can also remove any of these names from this workspace thread anytime that I would like. Similarly, I can remove any document anytime that I would like. And I can also add additional workspace threads, which are essentially new topics inside of Verifyle anytime that I would like. These are all benefits of working inside of a workspace in Verifyle. Tip number 3, shifting topics. The topic of this particular workspace thread is estate planning, but over many months, many years, and perhaps hundreds of messages between me and these individuals, this workspace thread might actually go through some level of topical drift. In other words, instead of just discussing estate planning, let's say that this discussion becomes much more about succession planning at some point in time. That's not a problem. I just click on Rename Thread, and I'm going to change the name of the workspace thread from estate planning to succession planning, just like that. Tip number 4, session management. I'm going to go to the top right, click on my name, click on account settings, and then I'm going to scroll down to session management, where I click. And here I can use this convenient slider in order to indicate to Verifyle the amount of time after which, if I have not been active in my Verifyle system, that I want Verifyle to automatically sign me out. This is a very nice security feature, especially for those of you who might forget to sign out of your Verifyle system. Tip number 5, I want to optimize my home screen using the sorting feature inside of Verifyle. Here you can see my list of workspaces. If I go to the top right-hand corner of my page and I click on sort, I have the ability to sort those workspaces by workspace name, alphabetical, if I would like to, or simply leave them sorted by updated date or recency. That's how I like it. I can also go to the Contacts tab, then back over to the Sort tab, and sort my contact names by alphabetical first name. I can sort them by alphabetical last name. I can sort them by email address, or simply leave them sorted by recency. Tip number 6, I can also optimize my home screen by using the archiving feature. Let's say that this particular workspace, Project 9195, has a lot of information that I pretty much wrapped up. I pretty much wrapped up Project 9195, and I don't want it to be directly in my line of sight all the time when I go to my home screen. So that's easy enough. I click on the gear symbol and I just click Archive Workspace. Now Project 9195 is gone from this colored active workspace area of mine. But if I go down and click on Archive, I can see that Project 9195 is in the Archive area. And at any time that I would like, I can easily unarchive this workspace. Tip number 7, storage by using Workspace Thread. I'm now clicking on the workspace called Client Christine Carson. And let's say that I would like to have a place inside of this workspace where I can put reference materials, if you will, information that is very useful for me to have at my fingertips whenever I'm thinking about Client Christine Carson. That's easy enough. I just click on the plus symbol next to Workspace Threads, and I'm going to create a workspace thread called Reference Materials, just like that. And you can see here that no guests have access to this information, right? Which is good. That's how I want it. I want to be the only one who has access to this information, because I'm going to click on the paperclip symbol here, and I'm going to add a couple of documents in here. How about something simple like Contract X42 and also engagement letter? Okay, so I drag those documents into Verifyle. I click Send, and Verifyle encrypts those documents as they're brought into the Verifyle system here. And I can see that these documents are encrypted and in safe and secure storage inside of Verifyle just for my reference. No one else has access to this information, and that's exactly how I would like it to be. Tip number 8 is that I can also store information inside of a completely new workspace. I do that by going to the Workspaces tab, clicking on the plus symbol, and I'm going to create a new workspace here. Let's call it Family Health Records. There it is. And if I click on Family Health Records, Verifyle prompts me to add a guest. And what I'm going to do here is ultimately add all of my family members into this workspace. And then I'm also going to create several workspace threads called something like Annual Checkup Records. And another workspace thread might be Dental Records or something like that. Point being that I now have a single workspace into which I can add and store and selectively share all of my family's health records. Tip number 9. Here are 3 helpful steps for getting started with using Verifyle if you haven't already done so. A is to bulk upload your contacts. You can easily do this by clicking on the Contacts tab and then clicking on the plus symbol. And then instead of individually adding in contact information for each of your contacts, use the bulk import function in Verifyle, which allows you to use the CSV file format to bulk import contact information into Verifyle from any other software system. And if you'd like some help with that, feel free to go to YouTube and type in Verifyle contacts, where you will find a nice little mini tutorial video that will show you exactly how to do that. B is you should send a regular old simple email to all of your clients, letting them know that from now on you will be communicating with them using Verifyle in order to keep their information safe and secure. And then C, put something into Verifyle for all of your clients, which triggers an automatic email alert to each of those clients, which gives them a reason to click on that and enter into Verifyle seamlessly, as opposed to having to go through some scary setup process. And then once they're in Verifyle, then they're going to see that welcome message from you and any other content that you put in there, giving them something that makes them feel welcome as they get into Verifyle. My point is that nobody likes going into a new software system and seeing that there's no information there for them at all. Tip number 10 is don't put all of your clients into a single workspace. We've found that best practice in your industry is for you to have a separate workspace for each of your clients. Okay, those are your 10 tips. Thank you very much.